Hey, it's Mopar Keith here today, and we're going to talk about the finer points of the Trans Am cars. And we have a black AAR here that we're going to check out the underside. So let's raise it up on the hoist and take a look. All right, why don't we start with this exhaust, the trumpet or the megaphone part of the AAR exhaust. So this right here is a NOS tip, and you can see it has the special insert, and this is kind of like a diffuser. It helps diffuse the noise and cancels it out and maybe quiets it down a little bit. And this type of exhaust is very unique to just the Trans Am cars. So let's go ahead and raise it up a little bit more. All right, so under here you can get a better look at these special mufflers. They're basically one side in and out. And the front pipes are pretty much the same as any E-body or B-body would be, but this muffler is definitely unique where it has the in and out on the same side. And they all had a drain hole in it, and they're all painted a flat black color. While we're over in this area, another thing to note is that this has this unique torque box. It's a special welded plate in there. And then they also had this metal body plug right here. A couple other things that are unique to the Trans Am cars is the differential gear. Now, it was a 355 standard gear, and the only option was a 391. Those were the only options for Trans Am cars. Another thing back here was the leaf springs. The leaf springs were unique in that they were equal on both sides of 5 different leaf springs, but all equal from right to left. They also had a special rear shock to keep the rear end of the car higher. Another thing unique, and this wasn't so unique to Trans Am cars, but this came with a rear sway bar, which you could also get on other E-bodies. The rear brakes, 2.5 by 3-inch rear brakes. And the tires. We'll talk about the tires. The tires were one of the only cars that were offered from Chrysler with offset tire size. There were G6015s in the rear, and then show a picture of that. So we had the E15s in the front. So that's unique to Trans Am cars. They had offset tire sizes, but all the wheels were 15 by 7s, and these are the original special 309 original wheels. And you also might take note that this has the original style lug nut on it with the nipple in the center, and all left sides on this particular car and original Chrysler products of this era, they were all left-hand threads. So these are all left-hand threads with the special nipple in there. What else can we talk about? We talked about the gear ratios, the tires. Let's talk about the steering and the front suspension of this car. So this car right here was offered with the power steering, and it was offered with the fast ratio pitman arm. And on the gearbox itself, it'll be cast into the block as TA, and then the pitman arm also reads fast ratio steering on it. While we're up front, we can talk about the sway bar. The sway bar was a little bit larger than a regular Cuda or Challenger for that matter. The sway bar was a little bit larger. We have a coin welded on the K-frame, a number 52 for the coin on that. And that could be a 318, 340 4-barrel, 6-barrel, or a 383 car. But that number also matches the build sheet. Let's take a look at the front calipers here. These are the special wide mouth front calipers, which is unique to 1970, and these are the correct calipers for the car. Torsion bars. So here's another item about the torsion bars. The torsion bars had a special spring rate, unique to Trans Am cars. So those are Trans Am car only. So we talked about exhaust. Let's see, power steering. Well, I suppose we could let the car down. This car has been meticulous restored by our shop, and we did have it judged at the McCacken show a few years ago. We knew we had a few problems with the car. It scored a 990, and since then we've corrected a lot of things, but we did do it in the correct style primer overspray. And this car is an original automatic TX9 black. So let's go ahead and let it down here. Oops. One thing that's unique to this car is it's black. It has a white interior. We do have the build sheet for it. And the stripe is NOS stripe. So once we get it down here, we can get a close-up look of the textured bars that are actually there to mimic the Organosol paint on the hood. All right, now that we've got it down here, we can talk about a few things on the top side of the car. One thing that all Trans Am cars are born with is a rear antenna and a spoiler. And the rear antenna is due to the fact that all Trans Am cars have a fiberglass hood, and they installed the antenna on the back because there was supposedly radio interference or some frequency problems, so they put the antenna on the back of the car. So there's the Frank Battleson Organosol. We sprayed that on there. All Cudas were born with road lamps. Got the road lamps in the front. Take a look underneath the hood here. This is all numbers matching engine. All Trans Am cars are born with power disc brakes, but it was an option to have power steering or manual steering, and this one was born with the power steering. This car was also born with the standard gauge set, 2-speed wipers, and the windshield wiper is just the manual pump on the floor. So that just about covers everything on this black AAR. We're going to have it at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals this weekend in the special Mopar Invitational black and white formal presented by Dan Pausch. So hope to see you out there this weekend. Thanks for watching.